Thanks for joining us on this edition of Hometown News. Recently, with the tragedies in Newtown, Connecticut, everyone is thinking about school safety. And just this month, the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office has released a video that will help train educators and law enforcement should another event like this happen again. Prosecutor, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So, Prosecutor Molinelli, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
The two individuals that wrote the script based it on actual active shooter occurrences that have taken place in our nation over the last 10 years and kind of put together a video that shows the right way to do it as well as the wrong way to do it.
The film uses actors and portrays how two teachers respond to an armed gunman in the school. It was filmed at New Milford High School almost a year ago to be viewed by educators only.
Shooter in the school.
Eerily and coincidentally similar to the Newtown, Connecticut shootings, the principal is the first one to spot the armed gunman and alert the school.
Invader in school, lockdown procedures now in effect. I repeat, lockdown procedures now in effect.
Guys, I need you in the back corner now. Hurry up. This is not a drill. Come on, let's go. Follow me. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Now. Now.
Once alerted, teachers are told to make the room look like no one's inside, close the shades, lock the door, turn off the lights, stay calm, quiet, and unseen.
Wherever your cell phones are, find them and turn them off. I don't want them on silent. I don't want them on vibrate. Off.
In two scenarios, a student knocks on the door and asks to be let inside. The first teacher does not oblige. The second, who does, is led into a deadly trick. Bergen County Prosecutor John Molinelli says teachers are told not to open the door for anyone. When law enforcement comes, they will be able to open the door on their own.
When the gunshots start, local police, the local patrol officer, are trained to enter the public building to take out the active shooter because you can't sit around waiting for SWAT, because while you're waiting for SWAT, there are people being shot.
The video is very real, and Molinelli says that's the point. He believes seeing these scenarios instead of hearing about them can make a world of difference.
Now, the video happened to be finished on the day of the Newtown, Connecticut tragedy. You'd been working on this, like you said, a year and a half prior?
Approximately 8 months ago. And it was a cruel irony that on the day my communications director handed me the final cut was the day of the Newtown shootings. That's correct.
Now, you know, with this shooting, I think it's really rocked the nation like never before. You've been prosecutor about 10 years. In your tenure, have you seen more and more of these situations arise?
Even now, in the weeks following Newtown, we'll hear of situations where, you know, some student was suspected of coming to school with a gun, and it's treated in a way that certainly brings with it a much higher level of awareness because of what took place in Newtown. That subsides after a while, but the training has to continue. I mean, the public needs to be aware that, you know, the teachers up in Newtown were trained to react in a certain way, just like educators in New Jersey are trained to react a certain way. And this was done years and years ago. Project Safe Schools was a statewide initiative. It came out of Trenton. There are specific training guidelines offered to all educators.
And this video, there's been requests from not just in Bergen County, outside Bergen County, and you said even outside of the state?
Yeah. Word got out very quickly, and I've received requests from upstate New York, from Long Island, which, you know, I'm a little hesitant to do that right away. I mean, it's written based upon New Jersey standards, and I suppose if I put in certain limitations, I mean, my goal was to have it begin in Bergen, but to ultimately have this embraced by the New Jersey State County Prosecutors Association as well as the New Jersey Department of Education as an additional resource available for the schools. And I think we're moving ahead very quickly in that direction. The education video has been met with enormous positive attitude by just about everyone that's seen it.
And aside from the video, my understanding is that your office has also offered to meet with local schools here in Bergen County to review their security measures?
We have. I have offered the services of our critical infrastructure coordinator to go out and to do an assessment at no charge to the district based upon his training and based upon sound security procedures to give considerations.
And has the idea of putting armed cops or armed guards in the schools come up?
I've not weighed in on the issue of putting armed guards in a building. That's something really that needs to be addressed by the local district. However, I have come out in favor of putting a school resource officer in each building. With tax issues and budget cuts, it's not easy to do this, but the presence of an SRO in a school building, in my judgment, would constitute an extraordinary deterrence against an active shooter. When they know that an SRO is there, a police officer that is armed, but not just standing by a door, that is part of the school community.
Molinelli's voice has been a fixture in New Jersey's largest county for more than a decade. At 55 years old, the Democrat is now serving what's called as a holdover prosecutor. He will remain there until Republican Governor Chris Christie and the state senators that represent the county decide whether to appoint him again.
You've been Bergen County prosecutor for more than 10 years now. This video is obviously a huge accomplishment in your career. What are some other things in your time here that you're very proud of?
You know, there's a lot of things, and it's really not just me. I mean, I have a lot of people that work with me, and without them, there is no me. You know, my greatest asset is my staff, and they're the people that make things work, but the creation of the computer crimes, specifically the creation of a forensic lab, has been one that has probably most greatly affected law enforcement here in Bergen, at least from my standpoint and my office. Now every case that we deal with, any significant case that a town deals with, we now seize the hard drive, we do a forensic examination, and we've had homicide cases solved by our forensic team.
It was 1 year ago that the forensics team solved one of the biggest hate crime cases in recent history. A plot to attack Jewish synagogues in Bergen County was uncovered. 2 of the places of worship were successfully firebombed, but thankfully no one was killed. With the help of surveillance video, forensics, and the computer crimes team, police arrested 2 young men, 19-year-old Anthony Graziano of Lodi and his childhood friend, 20-year-old Akash Dalal.
The second arrest, Mr. Dalal, was brought about substantially by the work of our computer forensic unit. So that has been something which I'm very proud of that we've done here in the office. Our community outreach, a lot of the work that we've done out into the community to make the community aware that a prosecutor's office is not just an agency that arrests and convicts. We are a part of the community, and it's important that we do that type of outreach. I mean, I brought 9,000 freshmen to the Rothman Center back in 2004 to teach them about bullying and drugs. I sponsor the Metro Youth Classic in Hackensack every year, which is at-risk urban kids aged 13 and 14. You know, they play basketball, but we put them on the floor at some time during the morning. We bring speakers in to talk about gangs and how they can really make their lives better lives. You know, what this does is it just gives the public an opportunity to see our office in a much different light. Our cold cases, we have 18 homicide cases that we have solved prior to 1985. We actually have a total of 33 cold cases that we've solved since I've been here, but 18 of them have been very old, cold homicides from 1972, 1975. The ability to reach out to a family who lost a loved one 25 or 30 years ago and tell them that we've now solved that crime is an extraordinary thing. And I've been blessed to be able to do that on many occasions because of the hard work of my cold case unit. So there's been a lot of things. I mean, the modernization of my office, the fact that all of our police agencies are now tied together and communicate directly on all law enforcement issues from a technology standpoint. It has been a long process, but it's one that has really made Bergen, which is the largest county in New Jersey, very, very tight and very close from a communication standpoint. While we may be large, while we may have a lot of towns, the communication level is a very good one, and it's one that our staff and our IT people have been able to achieve over these 11 years. And it's the greatest job that I will ever have. And I hope that I can continue doing it. But if it doesn't, I know that I've been blessed to work with a lot of really good people. And we've accomplished a lot. And I could never have done it alone. It's always with them.
All right, Prosecutor Molinelli, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And again, really some great things that you've done in your time here, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll have more news after the break. Stay with us.